Assalamu alaikum, it's me Tibi. A few years back, one of my friends told me that I might have alexithymia. Obviously, it felt bad then, but being a student of psychology and sometimes neuro, now finally I'm able to read alexithymia in a bit more detail this week. So let's dive deep into it. Alexithymia is basically made of three words: a, which means lack, lexos, which means words, and thymos, which means emotions. So, in simple words, it means lack of words for emotions. Now, that was a literal definition, but alexithymia is a neuropsychological phenomena where a person is not able to identify and describe his own emotions. Now, it's not any disorder or mental health condition, so don't worry about that. But it comes with other neurodevelopmental conditions, mainly autism. Now, people with eating disorders or PTSD or depression or ADHD might also show some signs of alexithymia. Now, there are three main indicators or signs of alexithymia. Number one is difficulty in identifying your emotions. Number two is difficulty in describing your emotions. And number three is externally oriented thinking, or simply difficulty in focusing on your emotions during any scenario. I will explain this externally oriented thinking by one example. So, this is a kind of script. One person is saying, he insulted me. I felt hurt, embarrassed, angry, and I kept thinking about it all day long, and my day got ruined. While the second person is saying, he insulted me, he raised his voice, it happened all of a sudden in front of others, and then I left. Now, we all know that whenever something bad happened to us, there's a kind of emotional commentary going on in our mind, like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, I'm so stupid, I'm feeling so much embarrassed right now, blah, 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 blah. Now, that's exactly the third indicator which I have talked about, which is externally oriented thinking, or EOT. That's just a fancy word, but we can simply say that the lack of emotional reflection or some kind of inner commentary going on in mind. This lack of emotional inner commentary going on in mind is a third indicator that the person might have alexithymia. Now, you might be thinking that, oh, sometimes I'm not able to understand my own emotions and maybe I have alexithymia. But hear me out. No, you don't have alexithymia. Just take this video for learning purpose and don't associate every disorder with yourself, because it's gonna ruin your mental health anyways. You are definitely a fine human being unless you have some diagnosed psychological disorder like PTSD, depression, or eating disorders, or any disorder which is diagnosed. And yes, my friend was 100% wrong about me while telling me that I have alexithymia. I'm definitely fine and understand all of my emotions all the time. So, my friend, you were wrong about me. Anyways, I got distracted. So, coming back to the topic, it's not like people with alexithymia don't have emotions. They do have emotions. They don't habitually reflect and analyze on these emotions. By the way, can you guess that the signs of alexithymia are common in males or females? Yes, you are right. Alexithymia is more common in males. I don't know why I got happy while telling this, but it's more common in males. Seriously. Yeah. Research proves that. These people have rigid thinking style, which means thinking without emotions most of the times. They have difficulty in coping with stress. We all know there are some people around us who don't appreciate and encourage others during their emotional moments. To be very honest, I used to label them as rude, but when I was doing my research, I found out that it's also a sign of alexithymia. Those people might not be rude, maybe they have alexithymia. We have discussed the signs of alexithymia on surface level, and now we will see it with the lens of neuro. And for that, we will mainly focus on three areas of our brain, which is insula, temporoparietal junction, and ventromedial prefrontal cortex. Oh my god, it was so difficult to pronounce. Yeah, it's VMPFC in simple words. So, insula in our brain helps us in feeling and understanding our own emotions, especially anger, fear, disgust, or guilt. It connects our bodily sensations with emotions, like I'm being nervous right now. It helps in feeling empathy for others. It makes us aware of emotions in social situations like fairness, shame, or guilt. It understands what's important and what needs attention. It controls our negative emotional reactions. It processes disgust and avoidance emotions like ew. It links our emotional brain to thinking brain, and it helps us in understanding our own pain and others' pain as well. Now that was what I wrote in my notes. So if you know any other function, you can definitely write in the comment. And temporoparietal junction helps to judge other people's intention, like if someone is being friendly or hostile. It guides the role in social situations, like we decide either to react on something, stay calm, or avoid the situation completely. It also helps in control our impulsive reactions, mainly aggression. It supports social and moral decision making. It helps in understanding what other people are thinking and feeling. Now, this one is unique, but temporoparietal junction is involved in considering the strategies of other players in games. So, basically, temporoparietal junction helps in understanding the intentions, thoughts, and feelings from others' point of view. So, we can say this part of brain is involved in perspective taking. So we can say that insula and temporoparietal junction in our brain help us in controlling our own emotions and reactions. Together they help us to show pro-social behavior with people, and not just feeling from your perspective but also from others' perspective as well. So in easy words, both of these brain areas helps us in having good interpersonal relation with people and basically show empathy to them. Now, ventromedial prefrontal cortex helps us in deciding what is right and wrong. Basically, it adds the emotions to whatever decisions we are gonna make, like this doesn't feel right or it seems unfair. It weights our personal benefits against harm to others. It supports our moral judgment and guides our decisions with empathy or guilt. So, in simple words, this area of the brain analyzes the moral cost of our decisions or behaviors we show with other people around us. A research was conducted in 2012, and the researchers played a game with participants of the research. Now the game was pain versus gain, where participants has to choose between earning money for themselves or helping others in pain or stress. Now the game was played and the brain activity of participants was observed with fMRI, and the brain scan revealed that people who were on high level of alexithymia, they had reduced neural activity in their insula and temporoparietal junction of their brain. That means these two areas of the brain received less emotional signals from outside, which means those people were not able to register the emotional states of other people going through pain, because very less signals were able to reach insula and temporoparietal junction. Now, since I've discussed in a video that brain signals travel from insula and temporoparietal junction to ventromedial prefrontal cortex, and then that ventromedial prefrontal cortex adds moral judgment to our decisions, right? Now, the same research revealed that people with alexithymia also get very few signals to their ventromedial prefrontal cortex or VMPFC. That means reduced moral judgment to their own decisions. So those participants who were on high score of alexithymia, they were not able to choose the option of helping someone in pain because their brain didn't register the pain of others. Hence they choose collecting money for themselves. Isn't this an interesting research? Because I found it very interesting. I hope you guys would also. Now, this research somehow made me understand the reason why we choose ourselves instead of helping others in pain, or why some people choose their comfort a lot. Now, alexithymia is not only about understanding your emotions, I think it's choosing yourself in every situation and like always choosing your comfort. I don't know. Now, I do believe that it's a psychological issue and it needs treatment, like it needs some kind of treatment to start thinking and start understanding your emotional states. But at the same time, if you judge someone for choosing like always their own selves, for choosing their own comfort instead of like helping you out with something, then maybe it's because they have alexithymia, maybe it's not, I don't know. It's just how I understood while reading and researching about this topic. I'm not trying to be professional here, like I'm still learning, and I hope I will study this topic in a more detail in future. So if you disagree on something, you can definitely let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.